Welcome back, my friends. It's Morah Marisol covering this week's Parsha. But before we cover the Parsha, there's something special that's happening right now that we need to talk about. It's called the omer count. What is an omer? Well, it's a unit of measurement. Think about a cup to measure or a tablespoon. Well, omer is what it's called when you're measuring wheat, for example. Long time ago, when the Israelites came from Egypt, they were in the desert for a long time. And after a while, there was a harvest of grain, and the grain was wheat. Here we have some people, and they are harvesting the wheat. So after the wheat would be harvested, every household, every family would have to take an omer of wheat and bring it to the priest. See, an omer or a sheaf of wheat. And they would bring this to the priest, and the priest would wave it before God to be accepted. After they completed that important step, then they were able to take the wheat and grind it up like this to make flour. Now with that flour, they could make bread, they could make cakes, they could make a lot of things once they had the flour. But there's something else that needs to be done, right? Exactly when are they supposed to be doing this? When is this sheaf of wheat or omer of wheat supposed to be brought to the priest? Well, it was brought on the second day of Pesach. And after they did that, they also began counting. They would count the omer. And they would count it for 7 full weeks. Up to 49 days. Do you have a calendar at home to count the omer? Well, I created this one. This is what our family has used for the past 7 years. Some people count the omer by counting off the days, such as this. They have a calendar like this one, and they have 49 days, and then they take that calendar and color each day that the count is complete. In my family, what we would do is we would cover all the numbers for the count, and then we would only uncover the day of the omer count. You see? So as we keep going along, we keep seeing the numbers. Every day another number is revealed, and that's the number of the current count. And in our calendar, what we would do is we would put these little hearts in the pocket to show us the number of the count. Tonight, Friday night, it's going to be the 15th day of the omer count. And although tonight many friends won't be able to color the calendar, but you can do coloring for 2 nights on Saturday night, just like that. But there's something special when we do this. When we do the omer count, we say a special blessing. And when you do this, you're supposed to be standing. And the blessing goes like this. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sefirat ha'omer. That means, blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who has sanctified us with your commandments and commanded us to count the omer. So I hope, my friends, the next week when we see each other, you will have a calendar that you have been using to track the omer. It's a very fun event for the whole family. We have been having a lot of fun with it for the past 7 years. And Natalia would always love to flip the little hearts to see what day of the count it was. But now that we have talked about the calendar, we are going to talk about this week's Parsha. This week's Parsha, it's called Tazria-Metzora. But before we start talking about it, like we do every other time, we spell it, right? Do you have any Hebrew letters? If you have them, bring them along with you. You can pause the video and you can spell the words with me. The first letter that you will need is Tav, Zayin, Resh, Yud, and Ayin. Now there's two words to this parsha. Let's spell the other one. Are you ready for the second word? You're going to probably have to use the same letters from this one, but that's okay. Ready? We have a mem, a sadi, a resh, and an ayin, Metzora. Now, what does this mean anyway? Well, zara'at is when the skin has a sickness and is contagious. So long ago, what would happen if a person had a sickness or had something on their skin that they weren't sure about if they can stay home or if they needed to go away, so that because that would mean they were contagious, they would go to the priest. The priest would check on the person and would decide if they needed to go away to heal, but go away from the camp because they didn't want everyone else to also get the sickness. And when that priest would say, yes, you need to go away from the camp to a special place so you can be healed, they would go away for at least 7 days and sometimes more. Once the priest would check in on them and would say, it looks like you are doing much better and you can come back to the camp, this person would go to a mikvah, which is a big pool of water, to be cleaned. And then they would bring an offering to the priest to bring it to God. And then it would declare him healed. Well, also for moms, there would be a special ritual for them too. If a mommy had a baby boy, they would have to be set apart alone, just resting and getting better for 8 days. But if they had a baby girl, then they would have to stay away for 30 days. Once that time was complete and they felt better and strong enough to be with other people, then they would go to a mikvah and also go in that mikvah bath to be purified. And they would bring a sacrifice to the priest to make an offering before God. And then it was official that now they could have visitors. This is what was done way back then, so that way everybody could stay safe and could be healthy. But we do things too nowadays to be healthy as well. And one of the easiest ways to make sure that you stay healthy is by washing those hands, right? That's what mommy and daddy tell you all the time. Wash your hands. But when are you supposed to wash your hands? Anytime that you are working with food, or you're helping mommy and daddy make lunch, breakfast, or dinner, you wash those hands first. If you go to the bathroom after you're done with a potty, you wash those hands. And when you go to visit or to help someone who is sick, you wash your hands. It's very important, and it's such an easy way to clean away those germs. Now, even though at that time, a person who was sick, they were sent away to get better, today we sort of do the same thing. When someone is sick, they stay home. Or if someone is sick in your house, they stay in a room, in their own room. And this is done because when people are sick, they don't have a lot of energy and they need that time to heal, to rest. When people are sick, they tend to need to sleep a lot. And it's hard to sleep if you always have visitors. And if your visitors stay for a long time, it's really hard to get rest. So that's why it's important when you do visit, you visit only for a short period of time, because that can be so exhausting for the person who is sick. But there's other things you can do when someone is sick. It's an opportunity to do mitzvahs. And what kind of mitzvah can you do? Many types of mitzvahs. You can help mommy or daddy make soup. That's one of the best ways to help someone who's sick. They love nice, warm, homemade soup. Or you can help to make a cake. Maybe they may not be in the mood for a cake for a big piece, but they might like a little nibble. Another thing that you can make is muffins. You can make all sorts of muffins: blueberry muffins, corn muffins, banana muffins. So many opportunities. And another thing that you can do all by yourself, you can color a get well card. Now that is something that even if you couldn't deliver it, you could mail it and it would make that person's day. It's so special to receive a card in the mail because that means that somebody was thinking about you. And when you make it really colorful with maybe mommy or daddy's help to make flowers or a rainbow or an animal on it, it shows the person that you took a lot of time to make their card. So mitzvahs are very important for people to feel that they're thought of, to feel special. So what can we do, my friends, to stay healthy at home? We wash our hands. Now there's a certain way, I'm sure mommies and daddies have taught you how to wash hands, but let's review, okay? We have to wash our wrists, the tops of our hands, in between our fingers, and our palms, okay? Now, the first thing you do, once you wet your hands with water, make sure they have plenty of soap. And you know you have plenty of soap if it makes bubbles, okay? After you do that, while you're washing your hands, you can sing the happy birthday song. And while you're singing the happy birthday song, you get every area of your hands covered. Are you ready? Get those hands up. And here, let's begin. Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach. Now you rinse them very well so there's no more soap on your hands, and you pat them dry, and now they're squeaky clean. All those germs are down the drain. Well, my friends, thank you for visiting with me. I'm so glad you could be here. Remember to keep counting the omer at home. And until next time, Shabbat Shalom.